Hello.
Hey,
Thank you, doggy. It's Friday.
Happy TDIF, everyone.
Yay. Oh, it's so great to see you.
Yeah, we are so excited to be here with you on another Thank Dog It's Friday. We are Hillary Buchholz, that would be me, and I'm here with the amazing and talented Patty Quinn.
I pay her to say that.
And we're the co-founders of We Heart Hounds, and we like to get together every Friday just to kind of do something in honor of our love of pups. So it could be a craft, it could be a recipe, it could be all kinds of different things. Today we happen to be doing a really fun custom canine coasters. So I think these turn out really quite adorable, and and they're fairly easy to make. So all you're going to need is some 4x4-inch tiles, and I would recommend, something that's got a little bit of that natural kind of rustic feel to it, but you can use whatever kind of tiles you can find on hand. For me, I had a little bit of trouble just finding the individual 4x4-inch tiles. Like I went to Lowe's and I could find these on kind of a big backsplash piece. So I have some littler tiles that are still kind of on that little piece that I pulled these guys off of. So you're just going to use 4x4-inch tiles, and then you'll need some white tissue paper.
Yep.
And the tissue paper, it probably should be white. That would definitely be my recommendation.
Yeah.
And if you can get some like in a pack like this, so that there are fairly large pieces that are pretty flat and not have a bunch of wrinkles in it. So like you could use it if it's wrinkled, but it's going to have a little bit of trouble. We're going to run these through a printer. So the flatter they are, the easier it's going to be for your printer to deal with that.
Yes. And I'm laughing because I had a little arm wrestling with my printer before we came live. That's why we're a couple minutes late today.
So all you're going to do is cut a little piece of your tissue paper. So you can see I have that cut here. And then I'm just using blue painter's tape to tape down. You're going to want to smooth it out and then tape down your paper. Make sure there's enough room for you can print 2 4x4-inch pictures in the middle of this sheet of paper. So just make sure you don't have the tape in the middle or in the areas that you're going to be printing on. So I'll show you a couple of the printed versions. So here I have a couple that have been printed out.
Those are just some of my most favorite pictures of Lulu and Leon. Oh, adorable.
So things to note about when you're printing these. There is kind of a smooth side and a little bit more textured side to the tissue paper. I happen to print on the smooth side both times. So you can kind of test out which is going to work better for your printer.
Okay.
But and then make sure that you have it's kind of like photo paper or anything. Make sure you're setting it in your printer the correct direction. So that's just going to depend on your printer. So mine is upside down and it runs it through. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. So, mine's the other way around. So.
Yep. So it just depends on your printer. And then once you have your pictures printed, it's easier to trim them out if you leave them taped down to the paper and have that as a backing. If you take that tissue paper off and you try to cut it, it's a challenge. So I definitely recommend just cut out your little squares with it still attached to the paper to give you a little bit of heft to help you with
smart. That's a good tip. And one I did not follow. So, see, I'm learning, everybody, just along with you are. So all these great tips. So when I finish my project, I will, for the rest of these tiles, I will do that. Make my life a lot easier.
So then the other thing that you'll be left with little picture here, and then for both of ours we're using a little bit rough tiles, so it's not exactly 4-inch by 4-inch, and so what we've done is just kind of tear the edges to make it a little bit rough around the edges, and so that it'll fit on your tile. So, and you can
and it kind of blends it into the
Yep.
tile, I'm guessing, so it makes it look like it's part of
Yep.
the stone when it's all done, which is nice.
So you can kind of see on this one that I've finished.
Oh, that's so cute.
So on the darker areas here, you
Yeah.
can see that it's got, kind of that rustic look around the edges and stuff. So
Yeah.
it does blend it in. And using the tissue paper lets that natural tile come through. And I think that's just a really cool effect.
I agree. Yeah.
We've done this tissue paper process with candles as well, that we can link a video to that. It came out really cool as well. So
beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah, you're just gonna kind of roughly tear around the edges to make it fit on your tile, and then just center it. Like, your tiles are gonna have their own kind of natural dark spots, light spots. So just kind of pick where your picture should go on there and line it up. And then we're gonna get to the fun part. So we're just using some Mod Podge to connect all these pieces and parts together. If you didn't have tissue paper and you just had photo paper or something like that, you could still do this. You just obviously wouldn't have those natural grains kind of coming through your picture, but you can use the same, like from this point on, you could do the same thing if you had just a picture printed on photo paper and then wanted to connect that to your coaster. So Mod Podge, I just have the regular version of Mod Podge. There does happen to be a newer version, which is dishwasher safe, that you could use as well. I think it comes in a blue container, or has blue somewhere on the container. I couldn't find that kind, so I am using just the regular Mod Podge. So we will move along if I can get it open.
I know. I just kind of used some elbow grease to get mine open.
So you're going to do a kind of thin coat just on the tile itself, and then we'll use that to kind of glue down our tissue paper.
Okay. And if you can't find the stone, the travertine stone tiles, you could use, wood or other kinds of tiles as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
So this technique will work on that, on different surfaces. It's just neat to have the stone. Just gives you an extra oomph to kind of the rustic feel of it without all the effort to make it look really rustic, which is what I really love. All right.
So here now we're just centering this back down on your tile, and I kind of start at one end and try to like work any bubbles or anything like that out as I'm placing it down.
It's a little tricky because it looks like the holes in the stone are adding some air bubbles that I wasn't anticipating, but I think you can kind of flatten them out. And even if it looks kind of wrinkly, it ends up feel more like it's a part of the stone anyway. So
Yep.
Wow, it really just blends right in.
Oh, and one of the things when you're printing out your picture, you can make them a little bit lighter than what you would normally do just for like printing out a regular picture on photo paper, because the tiles have their own, they have a little bit of depth and darkness to them. It'll make your picture a little bit darker, so you can stand to just make your picture a tad lighter than you would normally kind of think of.
Yeah, this is really neat.
I do have a couple little wrinkles, but I think we're
Yeah, I do
okay.
too, but I think I think these are cute. These are going to be adorable.
So then you just start adding your Mod Podge over the top and kind of work in thin-ish layers. So, and it'll be, if you've never used Mod Podge before, it'll be cloudy at first, but it does dry clear. So don't worry about that, kind of how it changes the colors of your picture and stuff.
And you kind of want to be careful not to draw your brush across the tissue so that it tears.
Yep.
Just be really delicate, really gentle with that thin layer.
And be sure to get those edges, because you're kind of wanting to smooth those edges down to the stone as well. So kind of give a little extra attention to those edges as well.
These are really cool.
They would make great gifts. Like if you're looking for something, a custom gift to make for somebody, I think these would be definitely loved.
Well, and June is right around the corner. June is like wedding month, right?
Yep.
So these would be beautiful wedding gifts. You know, if you had photos of the bride and groom or of their pups, I'm sure they would absolutely love it. Yeah.
Okay. That would be great.
As a wedding gift. And they just look, I think they just turn out so stunning. You know, again, the stone does all the hard work for you.
Yep.
And the tissue paper, you know, really just, they marry really well together.
And if you do kind of a set of them, so you can stack the 4 of them together and just do some cute like raffia kind of to bind them together, and it'll, you know, it'll be a really stunning gift, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
So here's painted on my first coat.
It's my little foggy girl.
So for these, I recommend probably about 3 coats, at least 3 coats of the Mod Podge, and let it dry between each coat. So and you'll notice like you're trying to let that tissue paper, it's fairly delicate, so you want to be careful with it. So let it be sure to dry. When it's wet, you have more of a chance for kind of tearing it, that sort of thing. So let it dry in between, and then just add your coats in between. Then once you've added your last coat, let it dry completely. So I would say a few hours. If you have overnight, that would be even better. And then what you're going to want to do is take some acrylic spray to just protect it from moisture. So like any condensation, if people are putting their glasses on these, obviously you want to protect it from moisture. So that's what this acrylic spray will do. You just need kind of a nice even coat across the tile. It dries really quickly. So just once that last Mod Podge has been dried completely, then add this on. If you were using the dishwasher safe Mod Podge, you can skip this step because it's already got its own kind of moisture barrier to it. But if you're using regular Mod Podge, I definitely recommend adding on this step as well.
Okay.
So,
and then we're going to want to protect it from the table, right?
Yep.
So, because these are really scratchy on the back, right? They've got, especially since we got ours from sheets of tiles, they were all stuck to that webbing and, you know, glued on. So these have a lot of glue and stuff on the back.
Yeah. And if you notice, like if you are also getting yours off that sort of sheet or webbing, and you have little scratchy parts along the edges, you can just take a little bit of sandpaper to remove that glue there on the edges. I don't think you need to do that to the back because for one thing, there's a lot of it, and we are putting some little feet on the back. So we just I have these rubber feet.
Yep. And I found
little
these
pack of those.
Little different, but about the same thing, basically.
Yep. Or you could use felt. These little felt pads would work as well. Or they also have cork ones that I think would work. And and you're just sticking them to the back. So these have adhesive back. You could, glue them if they don't have that. If you can't find any of these little dot versions of them, you could make your own by just adding a piece of felt across the entire back and gluing that down to protect your surfaces. So however you want to do it. I like the feet because it kind of lifts it a little bit from whatever surface you're putting them on as well. But you can also do, just felt across the entire back to kind of protect that wooden surface or whatever surface you're putting them on.
Right. And the feet will help keep the back clean.
Yep.
I think if you've got felt and spills and things like that, the felt can be difficult to clean on the back of a coaster. So, but it works in a pinch for sure.
Yep.
If that's what you've got on hand. Well, these are fun. These are so great. I love them. Thank you so much, Hillary. This was a great project. I can't wait to finish up my little girl that's now hidden inside a little coaster. She's popping out. So I love that. And I think some of the fun things to do is pick pictures that make you laugh, make you smile, because you're going to be seeing these now every day. Something's going to brighten your day every day when you've got a little drink, especially in the summertime with all the ice cold drinks that everybody has. It's nice to have a fun little coaster to put them on. So this was a great idea and really simple. I mean, there's a number of steps, but once you know all the tips and the tricks, makes it a lot easier. And they just are absolutely stunning. I mean, they look like family heirlooms when you're done. It's really not a lot of hard work involved to get it to look this elegant and gorgeous. So
they're definitely more than the sum of their parts. I think they it just adds that little extra. Oh, these are lovely.
So if you know somebody that's got a birthday, Father's Day is coming up. Guys kind of like to have cold drinks on hand. So you could always make a great Father's Day gift, birthdays, weddings, you name it. I think these would be really great. So thank you again, Hillary. This was a lot of fun. I was so excited we got a chance to do these. I've been looking forward to them for a while. We've got some other fun things coming up next Friday, so that'll be good too. If you're interested, if anybody's wanting to know, we've got some shirts available in our store. I posted a link to that in our coupon code, so you can be sure to take advantage of that while it's still available. And we'll just be plugging away, coming up with new, fun, crazy ideas. If you make some of these of your own, please share the pictures. We just absolutely love.
We would love to see. And if you have somebody that you think would enjoy this craft or any of the other, we have a whole huge playlist of all kinds of different crafts and recipes. Please share those. We would, it really does help us out when you do that. And we would love to see whatever you create. So
yes, exactly. Thanks, everybody. Take good care. Have a great weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Yay! This was so much fun.